So you want to make something like this.
Do you know how much I make a year? I mean, even if I told you, you wouldn't believe it. Do you know what would happen if I suddenly decided to stop going into work? A business big enough that it could be listed on the NASDAQ goes belly up. Disappears. It ceases to exist without me. No, you clearly don't know who you're talking to, so let me clue you in. I am not in danger, Skylar. I am the danger. A guy opens his door and gets shot, and you think that of me? No. I am the one who knocks.
You want to try to go viral on TikTok. Now, these types of videos, they go viral quite often. They get a lot of exposure, especially if you're trying to grow a channel or create content. And so I'm self-taught on Premiere Pro, and there's a lot of things that I wish I would have learned and found out about through YouTube videos that just didn't do it justice, that I had to learn on my own. So today I'm going to try to make this as easy as possible to learn how to do this yourself going on in the future, and also to do it the quickest way possible so you're not editing all day long. All right, so you've loaded up Premiere Pro. You've got your clip. Today we're doing a Breaking Bad clip. And essentially what we want to do is we just want to drag this onto the timeline. And now I'm going to assume a little bit that you've got some knowledge over how Premiere Pro works and the basics of it. But essentially what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be manipulating this clip right here, and I'll be teaching some shortcuts along the way. So if you have any questions about anything or you want to see anything else in the future, let me know in the comments down below. So to get things started, we want to watch through the clip and splice it up to the point where we want.
Who is it you think you see?
Okay, so without watching the rest of the clip, this is essentially where I want to start, okay? Now, you want to, my whole goal, and all of your goals should always be to find the most captivating point in the video that's going to keep somebody to watch. Because most of the time, if you're on TikTok or if you're trying to post YouTube Shorts, you're only going to have about between really 2 to 5 seconds to make an impression to get somebody to stay on the video. So I'm going to use the plus button to zoom in on the timeline, and we're going to see here, let's listen in. We're going to hit Control K, and it's going to split the clip up, and it's going to highlight this one. We're going to press the delete button, get rid of that. And then we're going to right click in this open space. We're going to hit ripple delete, and that's going to bring this right to the front of the timeline. And so we want to definitely keep this less than a minute. But
Enough that it could be listed on the NASDAQ.
so because we want to keep it less than a minute, I'm going to have to sacrifice this first part here, right? This intro. As powerful as it is, most people are only going to watch a TikTok video or a YouTube video, a short, for at most a minute. So I think here,
this whole thing and admit you're in danger.
so I think right when he turns, it's going to be a perfect thing. So we're going to hit Control K once again, the delete button, right click in the open space, hit ripple delete. So then now we're going to go towards the end. So plus button, zoom in a couple of times. So here we can see these waveforms down here. That's when people are talking. So now, all right here, this is empty space. That means something else is happening. Wow, we don't want to see him in the shower. So let's go back here.
I am the one who knocks.
Okay, so that's going to be the end of it right there. Control K, click this clip, delete it. So now we're working with about 44 seconds worth of content that we're going to go ahead and edit. So before we go too far in, what we want to do is we want to set this up in a format for TikTok, which is vertical video. This right here is horizontal. So the width is longer than the height, 1920 by 1080. So what we're going to do in order to set it up so that it's the opposite, we are going to click sequence up here, hit sequence settings, and then we are going to switch these two. So right now it's 16 by 9, and we want to type in 1080 by 1920. So now let's see how this switched, and we're just going to hit OK. Hit OK again. Now it's set up in vertical form. So in order to keep going, we don't like this black space. We're going to get rid of that. So in order to get rid of that, we're going to hold the Alt button on your keyboard and drag the clip upwards. Now you've duplicated this clip, so now there's two of them, and we're going to work with the bottom one, because right now the way that this layout thinks, it's now layered, so this bottom clip is technically behind the main one that we see up top. So what we're going to do is we're going to scale it out. Make sure you select the bottom one, and then you're going to press scale, and I go to about 185. That way now you should be able to see Walter behind the actual. Then what we're going to do is we're going to click effects up at the top, and you're going to type in Gaussian blur. I think that's how you pronounce it. You're going to click and drag onto the bottom clip. Make sure you do it on the bottom, and then you'll see that it turns green. Now you'll see over here blurriness. Now if you don't see it, it's because you're probably not selected into a clip, or you're selected into the top one. Make sure you click the bottom clip, and we are going to change the blurriness by clicking and dragging. It takes a little bit for it to go, and we're going to set it probably at about between 100 and 110. We don't want it to be too blurry. Now that we've got that sorted out, we're going to zoom in on the clip by hitting the plus button, and we are going to now work on the way that the clip looks. So for mood edits, you want to take away a little bit of the color. You want to add to the feel of the video. So what I do first before I start editing really anything, I go to Lumetri Color, and I now select the top clip, because now this is the one that we want to see here in the plane. And we're going to take the saturation and we're going to move it down a little bit so that it gets a little darker. Probably a good spot. Exposure just a little bit so it gets a little darker. And that's probably pretty good. What I'm going to do on this bottom clip is I'm just going to move the saturation down. That's all that I'm going to do. I'm not going to touch it. I have family here, so let me go say hello, not be antisocial, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Now you're probably going to hear some background noise, but that's okay. It's football, right? Chiefs and the Jags are playing today. This is important. The next thing that we want to do once we've set up the colors, it's always the first thing that I do because I always forget about it. Now we're going to grab text. And in order to really grab and make this as simple and easy as possible, I always go to, it's in Essential Graphics, go to Browse, scroll down a little bit. It's called Basic Title. Now I hit the star right here. That way you never have to search for it again. And then you'll just come up here, hit star, and you'll click and drag onto the timeline right above. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to drag this all the way over so that it snaps onto here. And now this title should be here throughout the entirety of the clip. What we're going to do once we have that is we're going to manipulate this in a couple of ways, right? So down here, as we can see where the waveforms are in this empty area, we do not want the text to be showing. In this video, I'm not going to show you any animations on text. If you want to see that, let me know in the comments. More than happy to make a video on that. For right now, just the basics, taking my time, trying to show everybody how to do this the right way. We're going to take the razor tool here, or you could hit C on your keyboard, and you're going to just click wherever the waveforms start and end. So right here, start, the waveform starts, ends there, click. And you're just going to go all the way through until you've selected, until you've split up all of the clips. Now don't worry about being too perfect. We can make some minor adjustments later. Okay, so now that you've done this, zoom out by hitting the minus button. You should see all these different selections down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete all of the text titles that do not align with a waveform. So this one right here, this one is gone because there's no talking here. So I hit the backspace to get rid of it. Backspace. You have to zoom in sometimes depending on how precise you get it. And so then all that you should have when you're done are the talking points. And I'm just using my mouse wheel to scrub through the timeline here. What we're going to do now is we're going to create our basic text. Okay, we're going to design the text. We don't want to leave the text looking like this because it looks terrible. So we want to give it some personality. So in order to do that, we are going to click into here. You're going to see this gets updated, and you're going to double click on the text so that it gets highlighted red. Now this is the hardest part for me every single time, is finding a good text. So what we're going to do is we are going to click down on the font and find a font that you like. Once you find it, you just click on it. So the one that I like is Franklin Gothic Heavy. It's not over the top, and I feel like it's a strong enough text that it gets the point across. So what I do here is I'm going to zoom in, make it the text a little bigger to about 200. Actually, no, we're going to make it 150. 150 is plenty. And then we're going to find color. Now, I like leaving the main person talking white. Then you're going to click the stroke button, change this color to black, and change this to 5. I might be able to do, let's see what 8. I'm going to leave it at 8 here. And make sure this is selected to outer. You don't want it on the inside of it. And then if you want, you can add a shadow to the back of it. It kind of makes it pop off the screen a little bit. I'm not going to do that for the sake of this video, but your creativity is your limitation. So then once you've done this, in order to save time, come up here to where it says styles and hit none, hit create style. And what this is going to do is Adobe's going to save your text, this style that you just made, into your project. So I'm going to name it Walter Talking. Hit OK. Now you're going to see down here that you now have text. So to save us time, all that we have to do is zoom out, highlight everything, all the text, only the text, click and drag and release. Now what you'll see happen is all of these now have the font that we want. Now we're going to update the text. So in order to update the text, there's a couple of different ways that you can do it. Now, back when I first started, I would just listen, type, and cut it up. But I learned a trick later on that saved me a lot of time. So what we're going to do is we are going to click the audio, and then we're going to hit Control L. What this just did was it separated the audio from the video. So now I can move the audio from the video, and it's not going to change. It's not going to move the video with it. So they are completely independent now. This is very useful. So what we're going to do is we're going to double click. You're going to see these waveforms pop up. Press these little arrows right here, and then you're going to go to text. You might have to click it again. So once you click the audio, you're going to see create transcription, create new caption track, or import captions from file. If you create a new captions track, it's going to create a new track right up here. I don't like doing that because for me, I found that it takes me more time. So what I do here is I just hit create transcription. And you're just going to keep all the default ones on if you're just doing this basic one. Hit transcribe. It's going to take a second. Now, for the most part, this is pretty accurate. You're going to see, though, that some of the words are not right, but that's okay. We're going to finish all of that at the very end. But once it's done loading, you're going to see right here that every word that he says is here. And if you click the word, it takes you right to where he says it. This part takes a while, and I'm going to show you how to do it a couple of times, and then I'm going to cut the video and just to the point where it's done. We're just going to listen to what he says first.
Who are you talking to right now?
So he says, who are you talking to right now?
Who are you talking to right now?
Right at the end of where he says it, hit the space bar to pause it, zoom in a little bit, and take the end of this clip. You're going to drag it so that it snaps onto the scrubber right here. Now,
Who are you talking to right now?
that text will be there for the entirety of his statement. What we're going to do is we are going to double click into the text. We're going to take who are you talking to right now, hit Control C to copy, or you can right click, hit copy. You're going to come onto the text, double click the text so that it's highlighted red, hit Control V, or you can right click and hit paste. Now, if it comes off the screen, I break it up in the middle by hitting enter so that it's all right here. And we'll come back in here and we'll make it look a lot more pretty. But for right now, we just want the text here.
Who are you talking to right now?
Boom. Just like that. So this part, he says, who is it? Do the same thing. Who is it? Copy. Double click. Control V. Who is it?
Who is it you think you see?
And then he says, you think you see. Boom. And you are going to do this for every single one of these clips. So I'll meet you back right when I finish. So as you're going here, so I'm about halfway through, and you're gonna see as you go that some of your splices just weren't all the way lined up. Now you don't want the text to hang around for too long before they start talking or after they start talking. So make sure that you're just lining them up properly, and I like to watch through it a couple of times just to make sure the words line up. And then sometimes I'll mistake. It's like here he breathes, and there's no reason for text unless you want to add like inhale or exhale. But for the most part, you know, just get rid of the clips that you don't need.
I am the one who knocks.
Okay, so I've just gone through all of these. It took me 5 minutes or so, if that, just to go through all of them. Like I said, the more you do it, the faster you get with it. Just Control-C, Control-V. That's pretty much all that you have to remember. If you couldn't find the text on any of one of them, you just have to, all you have to do is just double click on the text and it'll highlight this down here. Oops, I was trying to zoom in. This right here, as long as it has the white border around it, that means that you're editing that part. So all of these now have all of the text. Now, as you can see, some of these are like mini paragraphs, and now we're not reading a Shakespeare book, so we don't want to be putting that onto the viewers. We want to make it as easy as possible for the viewers because, well, as a viewer, you know, we're stupid and we like things just shoved down our throat. Now here's the fun part. You can choose to go down one of two routes. You can choose to have text pop up for every time that he talks. So like as he says,
Who are you talking to right now?
as he says, who are you talking to right now? You could have who pop up when he says who, are, as he says are, and so on and so forth. Or you can choose to do short sentences. So I could do,
Who are you talking to right now?
so I could say, who are you? And then split it up, talking to, and then right now. So this part takes a little bit of trial and error because you got to listen to it a couple of times. So you're going to hear it a bunch, but this is just to get the ball rolling so that you can understand just exactly how this works. So
Who are you talking to right now? Who are you?
okay, so he finishes who right here. So I'm going to hit Control K, and that's going to split up the clip. Now, what I do is I just come in here, and I just take away everything else.
Who are you talking?
So now it's just,
Who are you talking?
who are you?
Who are you talking to right now?
And then the next part,
Talking to.
we're going to just do talking to. Control K. So the reason why I put my scrubber right here in the middle of the clip is because what happens is if you hit Control K, it's like we'll do it right here, and you just start editing and you're trying to edit this one, it's going to automatically default to be editing this one on the right. I don't know why it does that, but that's just how it works. So that's why I like to drag my cursor right in the middle. So he says, who are you talking, right there, boom.
Who are you talking to right now?
We're going to do right now, here, boom. And we're going to actually take this and put it back on the same line. So now it looks like this.
Who are you talking to right now? Who are you talking to right now?
And then you're just going to rinse and repeat for the rest of the video. So this is a point, right? If you really want to make a point across when editing, right? So I'm almost done with these clips. I've spliced everything up. In a big part right here where it says, I am not in danger, Skylar. This is a part where you really want to put some more time into having the words kind of line up with as he's saying it. That way it feels more powerful. If you want, this is going to take a minute. You can just skip past this. It's probably going to take a minute or two. But if you really want to add that little bit of extraness to it, it makes it a little better. It's like seasoning for food. Then this is something you might want to listen. So here we go.
I am not in danger, Skylar.
So I'm not in danger.
I am.
He says I am right there. We're going to cut that up. Get rid of all this stuff. Keep I am.
I am not.
Just keep not right here.
I am not.
We're going to actually cut this over because nothing is said right there.
I am not in.
So he just says in right here.
I am not in danger.
So it just says danger right here.
In danger, Skylar. I am not in danger, Skylar. I am.
And then we're going to do the same thing here.
In danger. danger, Skylar.
Here we go. So let's see how this looks now.
I am not in danger, Skylar. I am the danger. A guy.
See? It's nice, right? And when we get to the final touches of everything, I will I'll show you some cool things that you can do with like powerful words like this. Congratulations. You could post this if you wanted to. This is finished. It just doesn't have all the magical touches, but we'll play through it really quickly, and just so you can see if yours is on the right track as me. And I did spend a little bit more time because I do like the words to line up. But this, like I said, you could post this if you want to, and it'd probably do pretty well. But I want to add some more tweaks. So if you want to click off, you're more than welcome to. Take this video. I'll show you how to export here in a little bit, and you're on your way. If not, you want to stay and see the rest of it, then let's go. So let's watch through this. And what I'm going to do is on my keyboard, if you press M, you're going to get this little marker right here. I'm going to press M every time that I feel like I could add something powerful. Now, like I said, I'm not animating text. I can show you that in another video if you'd like. But let's get going. So I've got, I believe, 4 different places where I feel like I could add some emphasis on the words that are being spoken. The most iconic one is changing the font size. The other one is changing its color. So we're gonna do both of those on here. So for this one,
Disappears.
we're gonna do a slight animation on the text. So for this, we're gonna click the arrows right over here, hit Effect Controls, and make sure you have selected this clip or the text. You'll know that it is selected when it has that white border around it. What we're going to do then is we're going to take the cursor over here to the end. Oops, my bad. You don't want to do that. What you're going to do is you're going to click the text box. You're going to come over here and you should see effects. If not, hit the 2 arrows right here and select Effect Controls. Once you're in here, you're going to see that this arrowhead corresponds with the arrowhead down here. Now, I don't like to go all the way to the end of the clip, but if I did, you would count 5 frames to the left. And the way that you move frames is you select inside the box and you use the left arrow key to go over a couple frames. So we're going to assume that it's already moved forward 1 frame. So instead of moving 5 frames, we're going to move forward 4 frames. I know, math class now, right? So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Really, that's 5 frames until the end of the text, but we just moved it 4 because we already started a frame over. And this part is completely up to you. You could do 3 frames, you could do 10 frames, but I think 5 is going to look pretty good. So you're going to click this little stopwatch icon on opacity. You're going to see a diamond pop up. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go forward 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to drag, you're going to click this and enter 0 in there. That way the text is gone. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to see these diamonds in here. And I'm going to drag it to the end of the clip now. Now this is going to fade out by the end of the time that this has been specified to play for. Once you highlight both of them by clicking on the screen and dragging, right click on it, and then you can choose to do anything. I like easy in, easy ease out, easy ease is what it's called. I'm gonna use Bezier for this one, and it's gonna look like this.
Disappears. Disappears.
It's something subtle.
Disappears. It disappears. It's
Something subtle. If you like the video and you've made it this far, maybe subscribe and let me know what kind of videos you want to see next. So we're on here, we're on danger.
the danger.
Now this is a big one here, so we're going to play around with a couple of things. We're going to change the color of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to double click on the text, we're going to come to fill, we're going to go to, we're going to do a bright red. See how that looks. And then on top of that, I'm going to actually make it a little bigger. It's a point of emphasis. So the way that I did that was you click this button right here, the selection tool. I tried hitting V on my keyboard, but I had the text selected. That's why you saw V. And then you're going to click on the video and you're just going to drag it out to a size that you like. It's completely up to you. Now it's going to look like this.
I am the danger.
And then same thing for this one. We're just going to change the color of this red and zoom it in. So once again, double click on the text, go over to fill, make it bright red. I just select the bottom of it. Do that, click your icon, scale it upward, and then you're done. All right, and so now you've finished, whether it's your first mood edit or anything else. Congratulations. If this is a, you just needed some extra tips or some better understanding of things, or if you want me to better understand and go in more depth, I know this will be a little bit of a longer video, but I really want you guys to understand it, because I had a really hard time understanding things as well when I was first learning. So what we're going to do now is we are going to hit File, we're going to hit Export, and Media. Now what it's going to do is it's going to bring up a tab here, specify a location where you want it to download. Mine's just going to go to my YouTube because it's YouTube. It's my YouTube. And we are going to hit change the name of it. So it's going to be Breaking Bad Danger Scene. Once you have that, I like to keep default settings, which I believe is H.264, also known as MP4. If you do have Creative Cloud, I always recommend downloading it to Creative Cloud. It's going to be way easier to get that file onto your phone. And I'm actually going to do that. So Breaking Bad Mood Edits. I always label it something different because it's going to save in the same spot as this one. And once you've done that, hit Export. Let it do its thing, and just like that, you're done. Always find a trending audio when you go to post it as well. Usually these do really well if you add some sort of melancholy or sad-ish audio behind it. What I do is if I see one that's done really well, it pops up on my For You page, I click the audio, hit favorite, and then I use it again. So let it do its thing. It's going to take a little while to upload to the Creative Cloud. I guess that didn't take too long. But once it's done, it's done. Go get posting. And I do this all the time for tons of videos, and I hope that you learned something and that you found this valuable. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you subscribed. And let me know in the comments what you want to see next. I do tons of things. If you want to After Effects edit, or if you actually want really cool animated text, let me know. We can do that for you. But in the meantime, tell somebody you love them, and remember, love